Okay, we got there.
The cleanup queen.
The cleanup queen, apparently. Guys, we've got a really interesting topic. I'm sorry we're a few minutes late. We were trying to do a bit of a cleanup here with some technology, but we got there. You've got Mr. and Mrs. Novak tonight. Guys, we're not talking about cleaning. We're talking about cleaning up property. When a property has been on the market for too long, what do you do if you're a vendor? And what do you do if you're an agent? So we've done 3, Mark, in the last 7 days. 3 cleanups of properties that had been on the market for way too long.
Sensitive topic.
Yeah, it is.
Sensitive topic.
It is a sensitive
We've got to
topic.
be diplomats dealing with this topic.
Of course.
And it's you know what? It's very common. It's very common that a job won't get done and someone has to come in behind and do the job properly. And we're not professing to be. Look, we've learned a lot over 15 years, and there's some really good little tricks, and we're even do it internally. So it's so much so that sometimes we don't see as agents something we can get done to get a property sold, and internally us agents would talk or add improvements to what we can do. So Lisa's often hassling me on my campaigns and what things I should do.
And you know what? Every agent has something that they bring to the table. Some agents are great at the negotiation.
Yep.
Some agents are great at the marketing. Some agents are great at the social media. And then as agents, sometimes we just don't see that 1% that could have been done in order to get the sale done. So let's talk about the 3, Mark, that we've done in the last 7 days, because it's definitely not luck. It's definitely strategy. And of course, we know a big part of it is social media, but we don't want to necessarily just focus on that. The first one actually was one that was here internally within our office.
Yep.
It was a beautiful property.
And something that I think we should headline with is the 3 Ps.
Let's start with that. That's critical.
The 3 Ps are really important. So, and we wouldn't expect you to know inside of the 3 Ps what levers have to be pulled as a seller.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. You have an agent. They're the ones that pull those levers and know what the market wants when renting or when selling. But first P is?
So there's the price. All right, there's the price that you're actually going to go out to the market with. Now, we're great at doing this because a lot of the stuff that we do is actually pre-market. Now, not only can you get your property sold pre-market off social media, which obviously we promote a lot, but in the event that it doesn't get you sold pre-market, it allows you then to throw the dart when you actually need to effectively launch out to those property portals.
Yep.
Because you've heard this amazing buyer feedback in terms of where the property sits price-wise.
Yep.
So if we ever do need to launch out to what we call our plan B, which is getting onto those real estate portals, we know exactly where to throw the dart in terms of pricing. But often an agent will go out to market and price that property just too high, and then you're going to crash and burn. It's very hard then to try and come back. If you've set a price guide at, let's say 2.5 to 2.6, and you've gone too high above the market, what we call above the market, not in the market, it's very hard then to bring that pricing down. It's a great way of burning a great campaign and also a relationship with a vendor.
And also price can be used as promotion. We're going to talk about another P in a second, which actually is promotion, but let's not go into that promotion yet. But price can be used as promotion. So you can actually poison an incredible advertisement with the wrong price. You can throw fuel on the fire on an incredible advertisement. So you have a can of Coke and you're trying to sell that for $1,000. It doesn't matter how good your advertising campaign is, you're going to spoil that can of Coke. You have a can of Coke and you're selling it for 5 cents and it's worth $5.
Yep.
You're going to have a crack of a product with a cracker campaign. So it is going to help stunt or it is going to grow your campaign by having that price right.
Pricing's huge, so that's one of the P's. The second P that's critical when you're marketing a property. Now, this is if you're starting off marketing a property fresh, or if you're doing the cleanup like what we've just done. We are going to talk you guys through shortly how we did it as well.
Luke's jogging us through as well he's on the 3 Ps.
Hey, Luke.
Price, spot on. Thank you, buddy.
Yep. So the next one is the actual product itself. So we're talking about the 3 Ps. So the next one's the product itself, which is the property. How is the property presenting? If it's not presenting well, what are the things that we could do that maybe could improve that? Obviously, without having to do things like massive renovations and things like that, we need to be mindful.
Yep.
Can I give everyone an example of something that I did today? So we're selling a beautiful property at the moment, and a lot of the buyers are coming through and saying, don't love the fact that you can see the driveway. So I sat over the weekend just thinking, what can we do about this? And then I came up with a great solution for my vendors. Let's go to Bunnings and get some great screening, those green walls. Super cheap, $100 and something. So
did you get the green
2
wall
meters?
Or the bamboo wall?
No, the green wall, and it actually retracts, and it's really cheap. It was about $120. Anyway, long story short, we've actually installed it. We had a couple of buyers come through today, and they did not mention a single thing about the fact that there was a big emphasis here on the driveway.
Yeah.
So $150 like that.
But you know what's
problem
funny?
solved.
Why wouldn't the owner just do that for you?
So, look, here's the thing, guys. When an owner's been living in a property for so long, like what we do, Mark, you're living in your home for so long, you're not seeing things that a fresh set of eyes is seeing. And I think as agents in an industry, we often forget to step back and look at it from the outside in and say, like a Rubik's Cube, like, let's maneuver this around and see if there's another way that we can do this.
And you know what? Sometimes it's a journey, guys. So sometimes you actually have to get to base 1 to get to base 2. You have to get to base 2 to get to base 3. So I think that, as an agent, I wouldn't beat myself up too much about why didn't I put that screen up on day 1, or as an owner, but it's part of the progression of that campaign. So
have you
got a photo how it looks?
And again, listening to that buyer feedback. So listen to what the buyers are saying, because not all buyers are coming through. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, we're sideways. And then we'll go up there.
So problem solved.
It looks a bit military in there.
Yeah, I got to say, I did a video actually, which we won't go into now, but I did a video. It looks awesome. Not only that, it still allows a whole lot of light to come through. So the product, how's the product presenting itself? And then we've got the promotion. So that's the third P. Do you want to cover promotion, Mark?
Promotion. Now, again, there's your standard stuff, right? So with promotion, as we talk about at Novak all the time, there's your traditional promotion and there's your non-traditional promotion.
Yeah.
So the non-traditional stuff we see, which is the instant media and the video content, that sort of information. And then the traditional is your realestate.com.au, your email database, your agent website.
Yep.
So, getting those things right in promotion are great. Now, they're marketing tools, but promotion is also, you want to have you want to give that property a bit of an angle or a bit of an edge, or what we call cut through. So there's nothing like just having, even having a little bit of fun, even having a bit of being a bit cheeky with your campaign, and people will enjoy that journey with you. So I think it's very, very important with promotion to be in good spirited. If you look at some of the greatest television commercials ever made, they've all got a little bit of humor in it. They're all a bit edgy. So I think you have to push yourself. And you may even have to explain yourself to your vendor, or you may even have to explain yourself to your landlord, just saying, look, we're trying something different. We're just pushing it a little bit more.
And they don't mind. I think,
they love that you're trying.
We have to remember as agents that we're the specialists, and so they're employing us for all of the knowledge that we have. And, look, we're never scared to take those risks where marketing's concerned. But I think industry-wide, it can sometimes get a little bit stale.
Yep.
And I think the industry's great at copying what other people do, as opposed to doing things that are going to really make them stand out. Marketing is a massive part of it.
That cookie cutter approach is just so easy
to do. It's a huge part of it. And I always say less is more with regards to marketing. You've got 3 seconds to capture people's attention. And that's not just on social media. That's right across the ball. People are on realestate.com or Domain and they are trolling through hundreds of properties. Do something, for God's sakes, guys, that's going to make that property stand out over and above other properties on there.
And guys, I'd love your feedback and your interaction tonight. Have you ever had a campaign where you haven't had something sold or rented with an agent or just in general in the marketplace? What did you do to get that done? Like, very easy. I'd love to know a bit of feedback there. Luke, thank you for your help here as well. So Luke's bit of a legend there.
So let's talk about the cleanup, because that's what we're here to talk about tonight. Let's talk about some real stories. First of all, we're going to talk about a story that actually happened internally within our own office. An agent that had listed a property, a great property, and it had been sitting on the market for months. And sometimes what we will do if that happens, because we can cross-sell in our office, is the agent will turn to other agents and say, guys, who would like to come on board with this now as a listing agent with me, a fresh set of eyes, and freshen it up.
Very non-stubborn agent.
Yeah. So, and so that's exactly what we did. We threw it out there and another agent picked it up. That other agent was myself, and also Michael Bergio and Michael Silich. There was a few of us on the job, and we went right through the property. We literally picked it up and spun it around and said, what needs to be done here? So we redid photography. We redid virtual furniture.
Destroyed my office umbrella.
Well, so one of the critical factors that kept coming up there was a satellite dish in the backyard next door, and that was a big sticking point.
From a local terrorist cell. They had a 2-meter satellite dish next door, and I actually, it wasn't me. The agent never really, didn't really bother the agent that much.
But it was a big sticking point.
It bothered other agents.
Yeah.
And it was a big sticking
Absolutely,
point.
because look.
So that agent saw stuff the listing agent didn't see.
Without a doubt. So one of the things that I looked at doing was actually getting some screening again, put up on the brick wall, and that would have been quite a cheap fix. However, because of some very, very clever marketing, i.e. new photography, new energy, that's critical. Getting it out onto social media.
Huge.
New energy is huge. Because after a few months, an agent can go stale, energy levels can drop.
It's sad.
And, you start to lose your mojo.
Buyers can feel that.
They can, absolutely. Anyway, long story short there, we ended up getting a record price in a matter of days for that particular property. So that's internally. Externally, 2 sales in the last 7 days, Mark.
Yep.
All right. First one was in Newport.
Yes.
Beautiful property.
Very white.
Vendor called me in absolute hysterics. She had bought.
Yes.
And she was settling on a property in 2 weeks' time and had to get this stunning house sold.
And this is a client that's really stressed out. They bought.
Yeah, she'd bought.
And you're thinking.
She had a 6-month settlement, Mark. She thought she had plenty of time.
Yeah, and you're thinking, my God, this is the second agent she's on.
Yep.
Stressed as, what do I do? Who do I call?
So
call Lisa Know That.
She came through to me as a referral via social media, and we very quickly had her listed and redid new photography. We dropped in virtual furniture, and I said to her, we will do an open home every single day until your property is sold.
That's huge.
Every single day until your property is sold.
What agents say that? What agents do that?
So that's exactly what we did. We completely freshened up that campaign.
Now, you love a bit of virtual furniture.
Love. Yeah.
That's probably one of your favorite tools.
Well, first point of contact is massive. So if you're not getting people even looking at your listing online, you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble. You've got 3 seconds to capture people's attention. It better look good.
Now, for the lame people out there, virtual furniture, furnished room, crazy person on a computer, takes out the furniture in that room, puts in different furniture in that room.
Yep.
Couches, lounges, different colours, artwork, something on the telly, like virtual.
Now it's more than that, Mark, because I don't just send it off over to wherever, Malaysia or whoever does the virtual furniture for us. I actually choose what virtual furniture is going to go into the property. So I looked at this property and said, Newport, this is going to be, I believe this is going to be an Eastern Suburbs family It's going to be someone out of area. And this furniture needs to look luxe. It needs to look beautiful. The property needs to present well.
So you picked the target market, who you thought was going to buy the property, and then furnished it accordingly. Wow.
Now, on top of that, this is a property that, in all honesty, I couldn't believe that it hadn't been sold because it was so beautiful. But guys, you can imagine a property that has been sitting on the real estate portals for 6 months is pretty stale. So it's a matter of not just taking those photos and reusing them and just putting a new brand on there. It's a matter of burning a whole campaign, remasking it and rebuilding it again so that it looks fresh, so that buyers feel like they've never actually seen the property before.
Yeah, you've got to be pretty powerful to do that, because it's a bit like building a sandcastle, smashing it and building it again.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's your baby.
It could be an art. Like it could actually be an art, but we literally dissected the whole campaign and rebuilt it again. Now, bear in mind, guys, we were on a very short time frame. We had a vendor who had 2 weeks to settle on a property that she had purchased 6 months ago. So the stress levels were up there. And I had said to our team, we are not going to stop doing these open homes day and night until this property is sold.
So she listed with you on
She listed with me on I think it was the 9th of October off the top of my head. And by the 18th of October, we were sold unconditionally.
And she was on
for great money, for phenomenal
10
money.
days?
Yeah. Now the 10
was on
days.
the market for 250 days prior.
Yeah. 10 days actually included we had to get new photos done. Photos had to come back virtual. We removed a tree. We did a lot. We cleaned up things that, I didn't like, that I saw about the property that I felt were letting it down.
So that's cleanup 1?
That was cleanup number 2.
2? Cleanup number 3? Oh, sorry, there was...
Can I also just add, critical part, went out all over social media. Massive.
Nuts.
Went out to a whole new tribe that had never seen it.
Well, that's right. And that's
and I had a number of offers.
That's important, because all of our reps in the business have been building their brand online for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
So someone like Glenn Higgs, for instance, he's got this massive surf fraternity, this massive surf culture, massive bunch of buddies on there. They naturally, buddies follow buddies, and buddies buy. So Glenn's been a particular animal the last 2 years, building up his 20-year tribe.
Yeah.
So now when Glenn posts something, his whole network, boom.
100%.
You've got the same lease.
Yeah.
You've been building up a huge following, a lot of interaction, big tribe, particularly local, even through the UK, international, bang. So it's going out to all these different tribes and all these different groups via social.
100%. And, I'm always amazed, even with the amount of social that I do, I'm always amazed that there's a tribe of people that are out there that never even saw that property on those real estate portals. They're just not actively looking on there.
Yep.
I'm always surprised about it. I had a number of offers come in via my social media on Newport. But again, phenomenal, amazing result for this vendor. Then there's a third one that happened on Saturday. So 51A. Hello, Christy. Hi. 51A, the Crescent in DY. A beautiful property. You guys would have seen it all over our socials. I called it the beach house on the cusp of North Curl.
Yep.
Beautiful views. Been on the market with another local agent for over 3 months and not sold. Yeah. So vendor came to me in tears.
Yes.
True story. And said, Lisa, I've got 48 hours to sell the property. I'm going to an auction on Sunday. The near impossible. Honestly, it was the near impossible. So same thing again. We had to completely...
So say that timeline again. She came to you on...
So I signed her up last Monday. Yep.
The Monday just passed.
Yes.
Week, I guess, 7 days ago.
Correct. Yep. Signed her up last Monday.
Yes.
We had her live by Tuesday afternoon, I think it was. We literally had 48 hours to get her sold.
The whole team went through Monday.
Whole sales team went through. Yep.
On the same day.
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
So we had to burn that entire campaign. Again, it had been completely overexposed. Amazing photos.
Good photos.
Beautiful marketing, which makes it really hard because it's not like they were crap photos and we had to rebuild and it was easy. We could have done beautiful stuff.
Yes.
They were beautiful photos. We had to burn the whole campaign, remask it again, rename the campaign, and out we went. Social media, realestate.com, Domain. We went everywhere.
All through our different reps, tribes. Like, you know, we've got Angelo and his Greek
channels.
community and his channels and his tribe. We've got Glenn, his surfing fraternity going out there. We've got you've been schooled in the east, so it's going out to the eastern suburbs crew or your tribe there. My Serbian community and people that I grew up with there. Cromer High School, a lot of money in Cromer High School.
So it was, I have to say, I think it was the hardest I've ever worked on a campaign because we were running against a time clock. So 48 hours. So again, out it went to all those channels.
Yep.
There's no point in just taking a property, reusing another agent's photos or the vendor's photos and putting it straight back onto the property portals again.
It's
the definition of insanity.
Is to do the same thing and expect a different result.
Correct. Yep, spot on. So out it went, Mark. We readjusted pricing. The vendor's expectations on price did not change, but we readjusted pricing.
That's good. You didn't get
sharpened up the guide. No, we got her a phenomenal price.
You got her more than she'd had the last 3 or 4 months prior.
We did, yep. And we were holding, I was running backwards and forwards to that property about 3 to 4 times a day, showing buyers.
You had more people in 7 days through the property than the predecessor
had in 3 months.
For 3 months.
Correct.
90 days.
Yep.
More people in 7 days than the 90 days prior.
Yep.
How?
Again,
Mark, on a home shopping television commercial.
So went out
How did you do that, Lisa?
We spun all of these wheels at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So it went out. So I just want to tell you guys what took place here within a 24-hour period. The photographer went out. My brief to our photographer was, can you get the photos back to me in 2 hours? Because if you can't, I'll find someone that can. And he's a photographer that we use all the time. And he did. God bless him. Rob delivered. He nailed it with the photography. There was a whole lot of stuff. So because it was called 51A, a lot of buyers thought it was a duplex. I did too. So we made sure that people understood it was a freestanding house.
How'd you do that?
Put it into the title. Called it a house. The house on the cusp of North Curl Curl. So there's a difference between DY and North Curl Curl. North Curl Curl is an extremely appealing area, not to say DY is not, but property prices change significantly between the two suburbs. And this house literally sat on the border.
So there's probably a 30% difference in those two suburbs. You promoted the fact that it was on the cusp.
Which it is.
Right?
Yep.
Which we affectionately in the team have used that a lot more since then. And then
redid photos.
You really, really emphasize, guys, this is a house. Like bang between the eyeballs, you told people in the heading, guys, it's a house.
It's a house, yeah.
On the husp of North Curl.
And again,
simple stuff.
It went out to social media.
Simple stuff, but when 1 + 1 + 1, it all starts adding up to a killer campaign.
Yeah.
When you start doing all these +1s, doesn't sound like rocket science, but it wasn't done prior.
Huge foot traffic. The signboard that was there previously was hidden behind trees. I pushed mine out as far as I could. We did massive V boards. We told people it's up the driveway. I had one shot of the view on one side, one shot of the beautiful house on the other.
Fireworks?
Fireworks. Yeah, we had Brazilian dancers going up and down the street.
We hired dwarfs. So, yeah, it was amazing.
Anyway, look, we rejigged this entire campaign and, yes, we had the property sold very, very quickly for phenomenal money for the vendor. Unconditionally, Saturday morning, we exchanged on that property.
Now, Lise, you're creating raving fans from this, aren't you?
Yep.
Because what's actually happened is you're creating, so this owner's watching this and she's just going, and she's just got off the phone and just shook her head every single time she speaks to Lisa. It's like, geez, that girl's
you should see our WhatsApp
geez,
chat.
That girl's doing well. Geez, that girl's working hard. Geez, that girl, I hadn't thought of that. Geez, I hadn't thought of it.
Mark, we negotiated with a buyer.
That's like another +1, another +1. So all the owner's hearing through this week is Lisa's nailed, another +1, Lisa's nailed, another +1. Now, the owner's thinking at the same time, like, am I just being sold, or is this genuinely gonna amount to something?
Yep, and it did. And look, she's over the moon. I mean, I get messages all day, every day from her. She's over the moon. We worked our butts off. But it's more than that because many agents work hard.
But I know you want more.
Many agents work hard. It's about taking a step back, turning the campaign upside down, pulling it apart and put it back together again and push the boundaries. Anyone that said to me, it can't be done, I said, that's fine, I'll find someone who can, thank you. And, it was pushing the boundaries. Can the signboard person get the signboards up? Are they going to look right? They weren't installed properly. Come back and do them again. I was just refusing to take no for an answer.
So I know what everyone's sitting here watching saying, how is he married to her? Like, how that poor guy, like, seriously, how does he ever, like, take the rubbish out enough? How does he ever have the kitchen clean, that sink clean enough?
Oh,
like,
so
how
funny.
does that Novak keep up with that when that lady is so ruthless and tenacious? Now, Chris said you're a queen. Now, the point is, don't worry for me. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yes.
The point is, Lisa is a hired gun, and you can employ her to sell your property with these qualities, and all of the team are just as animal bulldozer.
We are underpinned
in
by
touch.
a phenomenal team.
And we've got
You're
some
underpinned.
amazing
Yeah.
support. Like, we've got internally our own media agency. So those guys internally, believe it or not, there's almost 7 people now in the media agency part of our business, and they are putting together all the assets for our landlords, and all the assets for our sales campaigns, so we can actually ramp this stuff out all the time.
Well,
and I'm saying, like, these guys are just as amazing as
that is
Lisa.
such a critical point. That's such a critical point because, if we were relying on third parties, it's possible that
Emma says we're cute.
it's possible. Thanks, Amal. It is possible that these sales may not have come to a fruition. If you're waiting on third parties, you've got to have the internal resources. Again, it's just not accepting no. I just want to point one more thing out, Mark, just on this last sale that we're talking about. If in the industry, the norm is doing the Wednesday, Saturday, that's the norm, right? Had we have just done the Wednesday, Saturday open, which most agents would have potentially done, these sales, actually none of these sales would have come to fruition. It was only because I had said we're going to do an open every day until these properties are sold. The buyer came through on a Thursday. Now, he would have missed the Wednesday open, and he wouldn't have waited for the Saturday open, because he was going to another auction on that Saturday. We would have missed him completely, and the deal likely wouldn't have gotten done.
How did you locate the buyer?
I haven't had time even to dig it up, but I believe that this buyer actually came through Facebook. I have to dig it up. I haven't even had time to do it. We've run at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Now, something I also want to mention to people is, I had a client the other day say to me, and I've got to put it like this because I've always been comparing myself to a doctor. And because I went to Cromer High School and I didn't.
You just think you're a doctor because you're wearing that vest tonight.
I didn't do a degree, it sort of doesn't gel. But he said to me like this, he goes, when you take your television to a guy to fix, when that used to happen, he said the guy would like tweak something in the telly for 1 or 2 minutes and go $200. And you go, what? You're going to charge me $200 to fix that telly that took you 2 minutes? And the guy says, no, I'm going to charge you $200 for something that took me 20 years and 2 minutes.
I love that.
That's a big one.
I love that.
So I know Luke Moroney said that you're the property mechanic, but in all seriousness, how much would you pay the mechanic to fix that goddamn problem that you had so much problem? You have gone in and out and in and out of the mechanic shop. How much would you pay just to have that freedom of like, it is done? And that's something that a talented agency, good support, good people, a talented, good sales colleagues, a talented agent. How much would you pay to just make the problem go away? Give me sold,
100%.
Make me sold, and that person just comes in and goes,
yeah.
And then bang, the car starts.
Can I just add, Mark, someone actually wrote something on my social media today and said, yeah, you probably sold them cheaply. And I didn't respond.
You okay with that?
No, I didn't respond because I think that's what the industry would think. Oh, well, that's all right. You probably just sold them cheaper than the other agent who'd done all the work for you.
That would have been communist for sure.
The short answer is actually these three properties actually achieved record money, more so than what the vendors actually thought they were going to sell for.
Well, at least they were north of, like, this one in the Crescent was north of the highest offer in 90 days with another agent.
Yeah.
So, like, I know, and something that we have to mention is that you've been using a term called
post-market.
Can you explain that?
Yeah. So you guys hear me talk all the time about the pre-market strategy, where a lot of, people in the industry, sometimes I think people have gotten used to it now. It's taken traction, that word. But, a lot of people in the industry say, well, did a property sell too cheap if it hadn't actually gone onto the real estate portals, the market wasn't tested? But now, what about the post-market? What about when a property has sold after it's been sitting on those property portals, maybe for too long? I'm talking months and months and months, and hasn't been sold. And then an agent like myself or like any of us here at Novak sell that property for phenomenal money. That's the market's well and truly been tested, because you've had hundreds of buyers come through, and then we're able to achieve an offer that is well above what some of these other agents have been able to bring to the table.
So pre-market, you do get people having a dig at you, saying,
I think people are used to it. It's taken traction in the industry now.
How do you know you got the best price? By applying your strategies, doctor. Mechanic. So and now you come up. Now the team's doing post-market. This is post-marketing, so it's after it's had a normal traditional campaign, still getting a better result.
Phenomenal result. Yeah. Phenomenal result. So guys, I think, look, there's another message I want to get out just before we finish up, because we're going a bit over time. You're
talking a lot tonight.
A lot. This is a great topic.
You haven't really.
This is a great topic.
Actually, I think if most people watching, they'd be thinking. You know what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah. I just want to say though, for those of you vendors that are out there that maybe are watching this and have been sitting on the market for too long, or you feel like your agent just simply hasn't achieved a result that, exceeds your expectations or is in line with your expectations, often there's a way out. Often there is a way out. So these two vendors thought that was stuck
really good point.
in agreement.
Very, very good
and
point.
And they absolutely, most definitely were not.
Yeah.
You do not have to be in something that you do not want to be in. Most decent, genuine agents will help you get out of an agreement if they haven't been able to give you an offer that you're happy with. If they've just simply hit a brick wall and they don't know what else they can do, most genuine agents will do that.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Really.
Most genuine agents will conjunction, if need be, with another agent to get the deal done for a vendor. That's the right thing to do, in my opinion. But there is a way out. You don't have to be stuck in something that you don't want to be in. Sometimes, not always, the agent that you sign up with is not always what it appears to be when you've gotten into a campaign, i.e. the assistant might turn up.
Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one. You've often got the gun agent. They're signing you up and you don't really see them again. That hurts.
Yeah, I believe that could have happened on one of these campaigns. Anyway, without going into that, guys, we hope that has been of benefit to you.
Yes.
If this is advice that you think could help someone out there, please share it. We'd be very grateful. We are always here to help. Even if someone's got a question, if you're an agent or if you're a vendor, reach out to us. We're always here to help you guys. I think that's a wrap.
I
think I talked a lot tonight.
You did. See you guys. That's good that you did really well. See ya.
See you guys. Have a great week.